We're going to the neighbour, Ross McNally. You're going to talk about silver economy and present your recommendations.
Thank you very much. I'm Ross McNally from South East England Chambers of Commerce, representing the Stockholm region. Despite my strawberry blonde hair, I'm not actually from Stockholm. Yes, I know it's ginger. Just humour me, please. But funny enough, I moved from that particular minority group into another one recently when, like a number of us looking around the room, I see that some of us have got to the over 50 age, and we're starting to look at what that means in terms of the silver economy. Now, despite the challenges that we have as individuals, I think we've got to start to recognise that there's a demographic shift that means that some changes are going to happen right across the whole of the member states in Europe, and really some policy changes need to take place as a result of this demographic shift. Quite simply, we're all living longer, or sometimes it feels that way, I know, but we are actually all living longer. There is now going to be a very large number in the 50 to 70 age range. And the opportunities economically for those 50 to 70s to move into a slow and happy shift towards retirement is no longer going to be the case. Economically, it's not possible, simply because of changing retirement ages, because of difficulties over pensions. But actually, it's not something, if you're going to live longer, that you would want to do. You know, you still have many years of productive life ahead of you, and what does one do about that? Well, the most important factors, we think, from the work that we've done is to identify that employers really do need to start to think differently. There is possibly a prejudice out there with regard to employment opportunities for the over 50s. And the interesting thing is that there's a large amount of goodwill towards employees who are over 50 who are in work. If you ask employers what they think of their over 50s employees, they use very positive words. Words like reliable and flexible and loyal, experienced, confident. But if you then ask those same employers whether they will recruit those over 50, then they start to put all the reasons why it's possibly not a good idea, such as there's no firm retirement dates anymore, they're not as productive, they don't understand the new technology, they're not the way of the future. So there's a dichotomy, there's a contradiction between those two positions, and there needs to be some work on a policy front to really address that. There's also quite a few negative stereotypes between the generations. And since 2012 is going to be the year of active ageing, and it's really supposed to be addressing the two generations, the younger generation and the older generation working together and finding how they can be productive for each other within the within the workplace and within the environment and within society. I think it's a really good opportunity to eradicate some of the stereotypes that we see as a result of this inbred positions that we've had over many, many years. So we've come up with 3 policy positions coming directly from the work that we've done. Now, in the UK, we have carried out a programme called the Silver Academy. It addresses the over 50s in their transformation, their transition from unemployment, brought about due to organisational restructuring and to an extent prejudice over employing the over 50s, into the opportunity for self-employment. And rather than addressing that through a simple approach of providing advice, we basically created a facilitated and empowered network of all of these individuals working together, mentoring each other through a facilitated process so that they felt empowered about the transformation that they were undergoing. And we saw some very positive results as a result of it. But that helped us to inform the policy positions that we want to describe to you today. The first one, really, is around age management principles. We believe that the member states should encourage programs of engagement of employers in particular to share practice and understanding of the benefits, the wealth of experience and the value of the over 50s in the workplace, in society and in volunteering capacity, so that they start to value them and employ them in the right way, and that they create employment opportunities that are flexible to meet the kinds of needs of the over 50s who may have dependent relatives, who may be in a situation where they want a degree of flexibility around their working environment, and who work in ways that are perhaps changed and have developed as a result of their maturity. And we found that the best way to do that is to engage employers through processes of mentoring, facilitating groups of employers working together, and to obviously help them to fund lifelong learning opportunities. The second area of policy work is really around guidance. The whole opportunity for extending their productive life, extending their career, and also moving into self-employment. And this is where we would like to see not only that the guidance is shaped for the over 50s needs, that we understand the over 50s needs and then we shape it accordingly, but that we actually do it through this empowered, facilitated networking approach, so we get them working together. The final policy, and one that is close to my heart, is to try and remove stereotypes. If we could get the generations working together so that the younger and the older remove any mutually held stereotypes about each other's positions, not only would we empower the workplace, not only would we empower society, not only would we empower volunteering, but we'd be in a situation where greater awareness of each other's needs would actually change the future workplace, would change the future management needs. And so we would have a more empowered over 50 groups of workers, consumers, citizens, volunteers, and may I even say entrepreneurs. So there are three policies: removing stereotypes, improving and making it more fit for purpose in terms of guidance, and actually introducing age management principles. And we would ask the regions to support that and to start to work together to put them in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ross McNally. Well, that's quite of a challenge, because the society needs to be ready for people older than 50 to work, but also the people that are that age